Hello everyone and welcome to Brewed in Barnsley with your host me, Matt McGlone. Each episode I'll be joined by a well-known Barnsley personality to discuss how living here has shaped their lives. Today I'm joined by boxer Callum Simpson. So Callum, the podcast is called Brewed in Barnsley, so my first question has to be, do you like tea?
I love tea, yeah.
How do you take your cup of tea?
With biscuits, preferably. Not as it comes, bit of milk, no sugar. But yeah, preferably with biscuits.
So you can't have
chocolate
sugar,
digestives.
Really, well, you're having chocolate digestives. That ruins the.
Yeah. If I have a cup of tea, if I'm treating myself, I'll have probably a full pack of digestives. To be fair, which is obviously very rare at the minute. But yeah, with any kind of biscuits, hobnobs, custard creams, digestives,
Nice.
whatever's on.
What's your top tier biscuit?
It's a chocolate digestive.
Is it?
Yeah, be after one of them. The chocolate hobnobs. Again,
Hobnobs are good for
cream.
dunking though, because you don't want to.
Yeah, sometimes the texture is a little bit. I'd rather a normal digestive. Yeah, but yeah, it's just any of your classics really.
I just think it's ironic that we're sat here with a teapot and we're drinking water, but you know we.
Yeah, I know. I thought
we'll get a cup of tea after.
When you told me it were brewed in Barnsley, I thought it were going to be have a nice cup of tea, or even a coffee maybe, but just got water out me. But it'll do.
It's hot in here. There's a reason we're having the water. The reason it's called Brewed in Barnsley really is more about how it's brewed, how Barnsley has brewed you, so to speak.
Yeah.
So how it's made you as a person. So you've lived here all your life, haven't you? Where did you grow up?
Grew up. Well, first of all, obviously, I was born in Barnsley Hospital. Grew up. I lived on a Park Road, just across from Lock Park, just across from Chippy actually. Down front was Becommon, and then I went to Lonker Primary School. Then we moved to Blenheim Road and Lonker Lane, and then obviously so that's where I've kind of lived all my life really between them two. And then I lived at my dad's for a bit in Ferguland, but then back down to Blenheim Road. Yeah, so I went to Lonker Primary School. Then when that was knocked down, I went to Joseph Lock, and then I went to Holgate. And that got knocked down, and I ended up at Horizon.
There's a bit of a trend there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Schools keep getting knocked down.
They were both for the last year as well. So my last year of primary, I spent in Joseph Lock. And then my last year of secondary school or high school, I was in Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've moved about quite a bit across Barnsley, then, haven't you?
Yeah,
You've covered the whole thing.
Not from my choice, from schools getting knocked down. Yeah.
Okay, clearly.
Redeveloped, obviously. Yeah.
So living opposite that Chippy, then.
Yeah.
Is that kind of? Did you think I need to do some sport because I keep eating fish and chips every week? How did you get into boxing or any sport really in the first place?
So I used to play football for Dodworth Miners Welfare. My brother is 15 months older than me. Bradley used to play for the same team. I started playing when I was about 6. Played till I was around 8 years old. And the reason I stopped that was because my dad became the manager. And obviously I was the kid that he could kind of shout at more than others. So I got the brunt of everything when everyone.
No favouritism then. It was pure.
No. I got the brunt of everything. To be fair, I weren't really great anyway, to be honest. And then one day I think I was in. If I went to Butlins or something, I was too busy climbing a climbing frame or something. Everyone were ready to start kick off, and I was messing about. So yeah, my dad had a go at me, and then I just quit that day.
So your fledgling football career was destroyed by a climbing
frame. I don't think it would have turned out that well, to be honest. Probably thought best. Definitely better with my fists than I am my feet, I'd say. So yeah, then obviously I wanted to do some kind of sport and not just do nothing. So my dad used to do a little bit of boxing when we were younger. He reckons he won undefeated, but I'm still trying to find some proof of that. But I think he's had a couple of amateur fights.
I'm going to say, did he have any fights? I mean, I'm undefeated in boxing as well, mate.
Yeah, he reckons he had a few fights, but yeah, I'm still waiting for that to be confirmed nearly 20 years later. But yeah, so I asked him to take me to his old gym, which is a gym in Bolton upon Dearne. Yeah. I was there for a year. I had one fight with them, lost it. I started crying, and I come throwing my trophy on the floor. I think that was 10 years old then. And then, so I left that gym and joined Barnsley Star, which is just on Doncaster Road, down from Windsor Road. The shoes, just about 5 minutes away from here. We're there for about 12 years. No, yeah, about 12, 13 years I was there. I had all my amateur fights there, 53 amateur fights, training with John Schofield, John Sager, Trev Schofield and Pete as well. So I was there for 13 years where I did most of my training, yeah.
And was that then when you thought, I'm actually pretty good at this? It's not just a hobby, this is something maybe I could turn into a career? Yeah,
so I think, obviously I started when I was 9 years old boxing, but it wasn't until I was about 15, 16 where I thought, I'm actually all right at this. At first it was just a hobby. having fights, just to keep fit. Really, I used to enjoy boxing, but like I said, it wasn't until I started sparring some pros then, we were like Commonwealth champions, European, British champions, and at 15, 16, I thought, you know what, if I am this good now, like, and they're like the champions, I might actually have a go at this, have a good career at this. But that was when I was in like year 11 at school, and I was always looking to. I didn't ever want to leave school and turn pro straight away. I wanted to have get plenty of amateur experience. So I actually looked, and I used to love cooking as well. So I looked at going to be a caterer in the army, because obviously you can do a lot of. So they're very keen on the sport and the boxing.
Yeah, still box alongside your career.
So. But I went to careers office in Leeds, and the guy absolutely like rinsed me to bits. I was asking, do you think it's right for me? And they were like, well, do you think it's right for you? And they were just like, yeah. And then I left that, and I was like, yeah, it's not for me. This armed forces. But yeah, so I left school, did sport and exercise science at college. Did that for 2 years while working part time, and then went into full time work. Again, still boxing as amateur. And it wasn't till I think about 4 years ago. So it wasn't till I was about 23 that I actually turned pro. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that? I mean, that's fairly late then, is it? Do you think to turn pro, or is that what boxers kind of do now? Because obviously, people listening might not know about a boxer's career. I mean, you see a lot of boxers. People like Anthony Joshua, example, come from the Olympics, don't they? Where they're all amateur boxers, and they then turn pro maybe a little bit later on.
I think he didn't start boxing until he was about 18. Right. Joshua, yeah. So I think he turned pro quite late. Some turn pro at 18, and then they do a lot of the developing in the pro career. So they have a lot of fights, but they don't actually have any, you could say, meaningful fights until the late 20s. But yeah. So for me, I just wanted to get as much experience as possible as an amateur. And obviously, I was working as well. And even when I took my first turn pro, I've had 14 fights. And my first 10 fights, I was still working full time.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, how did you fund that then? So where were you working at?
So I used to work or part time working at Scott's Menswear in Meadowhall, while I worked college. So that was used to train. My dad used to come pick me up at 5:30 in the morning, take me to Lock Park to do some sprint sessions and running, and then I used to go and get a shower, go straight to college, and then got on the train straight from college to work. Or if I didn't have work that night, I'd go straight to gym straight from college. Yeah.
So your dad was your trainer then? Is he still involved?
Not my trainer, but he used to help him. Well, it still does. He's a massive part of my boxing and my life as well. You know, he's the reason that I got into it firstly. And yeah, like he used to come pick me up at 5:30 in the morning, and even till recently, it's only that I've moved now, so it's not as local now. He used to pick me up at 5:30. Driving down to JD gym, do his run, or I'll do a sprint session. And he used to, or even before that, he used to go to Lock Park and do a sprint session. Or he used to ride his bike next to me while I ran, but he's not a great bike rider. So by the time I got up to Racecommon Road, he didn't have to use the gears, so I'd be flying off. So it'd be with me for like the first 100 meters, and after that, I didn't even see for the rest of it.
I imagine one of these sort of Rocky montages coming.
Yeah, not quite that. Which my dad lagging massively behind, but it was just more the point to help me get up in the morning, because if I know I'm just going to go and run on my own, it's a lot harder to get up. But if I know my dad's going to pick me up, and like I said, we didn't live. I think I've not lived with my dad since I was like 4. But obviously, he's been a massive part. Well, an amazing dad, massive part of my life. So he used to come down, ring me when we were outside, and just jump out of bed, and then get me running before school or before college.
So how did you turn pro then? What's the first kind of steps to that? Do you need to speak to some sort of, I don't know, like a sport agent, or is it where does that all come from?
So so my first manager was one of my trainers. When I trained over in Batley, he had a manager's license and a trainer's license. So for me, before be managed by my trainer, so we've got options on what shows we go on, and just keep it in house. A lot more flexibility as well. And then obviously when we got to a certain level, we were going to look to get another manager. So my first 3 fights I was managed by my trainer, and then COVID happened with lockdown and stuff, so everything kind of come to a halt. I was still training when we were allowed to get back in the gyms, and but I left that current trainer and manager. He just kind of left the gym and started like a new career doing PTs and stuff. But I still stayed with my old trainer at that gym as well. Yeah. And then I rang a few managers that I knew that were quite good in the area. Spoke to about 5. Me and my trainer kind of laid out what we wanted for the next 12 months, and if they could deliver it. And then I spoke to one of them people I spoke to, Kevin Marie, who was my current manager. He kind of said, we told him what we wanted. He said he could deliver it, and so we signed with him. In the next 12 months, I had 7 fights, won them all, knocked 5 of them out in first round. But I think I won them all by stoppage, actually. Knocked 5 of them out in the first round, won the Central Area title, and then we're in talks with signing with Boxer and Sky. So he more than delivered, yeah. So he more than delivered.
Definitely. And it's 14 fights now.
It's
undefeated,
14 fights,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your next step then? What's your next goal now? You've got that first belt.
Yes. So obviously I won the Central Area title, and then 2 fights ago I won the WBA Continental title, which I think that was it. That was Manchester Arena, that one, which was a good fight. And then now I'm managed for the British title now. So that'll be my next fight. I'll be fighting someone called Zach Chelly, who's the current British champion. I'll be fighting him. So yeah, that's the next.
Confident?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I'm always.
You can't say no. No, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. No, but I'm going to lose. But no, of course I'm confident. Yeah, I know how hard I train. I know how much I've dedicated myself and been committed to boxing. And I know how well I do in sparring. I spar people who are much better than him as well, like higher level. I know how well I do against them, and I just believe in myself. Like I said, I know how hard I train. I know how much I put into it. So there's no reason not to be confident.
And just on that training and the diet side of things as a boxer, I always find it fascinating with how boxers kind of do this, because you talk about sports people, you talk about footballers or whatever, they go training every day and then they play the game at the weekend. But for boxers, it's not like you have a fight every week, is it? You have one. No. I don't even know what the gap is between some fights. It depends when they can fight and when you can fight, doesn't it? And when you've got an arena. So how long has it been between fights, and when do you kind of start that training regime then, and what does it take to get to your weight? Yeah,
so normally, like I said, when I first signed with Kevin, when I was fighting the smaller shows, I had 7 fights in 12 months. So I think on average, I was fighting once every 6 weeks.
Right.
Whereas now, once you get signed with like a bigger broadcaster, because when I was on them shows, I was doing 4 rounds. Well, they were scheduled for 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8, but they weren't lasting that long.
Because you're knocking them out.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah. So because they're scheduled for 4, 6, 8 rounds, the training camp isn't as intense. Whereas now that I'm doing, every fight I'll have now will be a championship fight. So either a 10 round, well, there were 10 rounds, now it's going to be 12 rounds. So your camps are a lot more intense, a lot longer. So you need like probably a longer break in between. So yeah, now I should be fighting 4 times a year. So the last 12 months I had 4 fights, which obviously were all with Sky. And then we're looking at fighting 4 times the next 12 months. And yeah, we normally start, I'm always in the gym anyway, because I've left work now, so I train full time. So there's no reason for me not to be in the gym.
Yeah.
I might go on a holiday for a week or 2, have a little, but even when I'm abroad, I love training when I'm away as well. But yes, I'm always in the gym on the Monday after the fight, whether it's just to show my face or...
So you don't do that thing where you kind of train and then go, right, I'm done for 2 weeks. I'll go on a big holiday, all inclusive, eat absolutely tons, and back in the gym again.
I try not to do that. After my last fight, I had a week, just like steady training. Then I went to Jamaica for a week, all inclusive. But I did train over there. But I did the all inclusive thing where I definitely ate plenty though. Definitely ate plenty over there. And then I was back for a week, and I went to Palma for a week again. But that went all inclusive. I were actually training over there. But again, I love my food.
Yeah.
So so then I've been in the gym since that. But we call it obviously like a training camp. So we normally start that like up the work rate, the high intensity, about 10 weeks out, depending on where we are. But like I said, I'm always in the gym ticking over. I'm always reasonably fit. It's never like a case of, right, I've had my fight, I'm not in the gym now until I get a new fight date, and then we start camp straight away. It's a case of like I'm always ticking over. I'm always in the gym learning. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from my last fight and stuff. I'm always trying to improve and get better. So like I said, we're always in the gym working on stuff.
You're not just going out around Wellington Street.
No, definitely
7
not.
days a week.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that. I think there's a few boxers that have done that in the past, but yeah, that's definitely not me.
And well, let's talk about Barnsley then as well, because obviously you, as we've talked about, you're from here. You've lived here all your life. You've started training here. It's how you got into boxing, and you just seem so passionate about the town. And one thing that we know you really want to do is that fight at Oakwell, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
What would that mean to you to have a fight on the pitch?
It'd be unbelievable. It'd be absolutely unbelievable. It's like I want to say a dream come true, but it's like more than a dream. It's someone told me this time last year. This time 2 years ago, that's even a possibility. I wouldn't even like thought about doing it at Oakwell, because it's just something that's way out of anything I would have even thought could happen. But you know, after having conversations with, you know, Sky Boxer and the football club, it's something that's, it's a lot more tangible now and something that I believe is going to happen.
I mean, it would generate so much for the town as well, I think. And there's serious interest in your career now. I mean, did you fought at the Metrodome before, haven't you?
Yeah, I fought there as amateur. I won my first amateur title there. I think I won a Yorkshire title at light heavyweight there. And I've also fought there as a pro once or twice, as well.
So Oakwell is that kind of like that big dream now.
Definitely. And like I said, it's not just what it means to me, it's what it means to my family, my friends, and the town as well. Yeah. You know, like my little, my younger brothers, my niece and nephew, they're like season ticket holders. My granddad, they're lifelong season ticket holders, you know, Barnsley through and through, and I know what it means to them. And like I said, just the community, that the town, the community. When I spoke to Boxer and Sky, and I've sent up, because when I was first come, like said to them about, you know, can we get a fight in Barnsley, Oakwell, they still think that Barnsley is like an old mining town, you know, like around an horse and cart or something. But you know, I was showing the picture of the glass house, and you know, everything that's been put into it, and how developed it is, and that the events that they put on there. And I just imagine, you know, doing like it's a fight week. It's not just fight night; it's fight week as well. So I imagine like having the open workout, a nice summer's day. You know, kids are off school, everyone's coming. You know, I'm banging up pads with the rings outside glass house, and the open weighing as well. Press conference. Yes, that's my vision that I've got there, and I've kind of put onto them, and it's their job to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine the buzz it would be around the town. We've had like singers in the town before.
Maybe
not so much a boxer, but that'll be something very different for the town for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And again, this how much the town and community's got behind me is absolutely massive. Even my last fight was down in London. I think there were over 350 came down to watch, and my last two fights have been in London, and it were bank holiday Sunday as well. So for people to travel all like sort of over a 400-mile round trip to come down there on a bank holiday Sunday, and Boxer and the team at Sky always mention like my crowd, my support, and I think the O2 Arena, I think it holds like 20,000, I think, or 19,000. So like to me, like 350 people is a lot of people, but when it's in an arena that size, I was thinking like, what's it gonna sound like? But when I walked out, like I just heard them all like chanting and shouting. I thought,
the loudest people in the room.
Barnsley
accents.
They always are, and it's great, and it makes me proud to be from Barnsley as well.
And are you getting noticed now when you walk around town as well? Are people coming up to you like?
Yeah, a lot come up to me asking for photos and saying hello. But most I'll just hear I'll hear whispers like, Callum Simpson. And I'll turn around like,
sorry,
hello, I'm like, you're all right, and they're like, oh yeah, it's him. But yeah, I get loads of people coming up to me, and you know, people like, I can hear them always like saying, is that Callum Simpson? But yeah, it's funny, but for me, it's like, it's just, I've got used to it now. It's not really a big deal for me. But if I'm like my friends or family, they're like, why is everyone out? Like, it's crazy for them, but yeah, I'm kind of used to it now.
But you're such an approachable guy, I think.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah,
you're very down to earth, and you keep that sort of level-headedness about you, which I suppose is testament to you. And 14 fights undefeated, going for the sort of big titles and wanting to fight at Oakwell. I think. Yeah,
definitely. I always try and take time to like speak to people, and sometimes I take too much time to speak to, like, especially when I'm in training camp. You know, I always feel obliged to like do like football presentations for people, or like go and meet and greet kind of stuff. My coach always says like, "Callum, you need to be resting. Like, you've trained, now you need to rest." But yeah, I always feel bad saying no to things. But yeah, I always especially when I'm at football games as well, I always take time out to speak to kids or parents, or if anyone comes and says hello to me in the streets, I always have a good chat with them.
Yeah. They might be more interested in you than the football this season, actually.
Maybe, potentially.
Should we talk about the football? I don't know. Did you want to talk about that this season?
Probably not.
Playoff disappointment.
Probably best not to. Yeah, probably best not to.
Well, hopefully, if you do fight Oakwell, it won't be the main thing that happens there next season. Hopefully, the football club do have a better year. We're talking about walking around the town centre and going out and about and getting recognised. You know, where you talked about the glassworks and how it's changed. How much and how amazed are you about how much it's changed in your life since you've been here in Barnsley? I think it's like just unbelievable, really, how much it's developed. You know, I've got a lot of friends that like from Leeds and Sheffield and in like Wakefield and stuff like that. And before, a few years ago, people in Barnsley, we had to go to Sheffield for out for food, or if we want to go for drinks, or you had to go to Leeds, you had to go to Wakefield. You know, the more built up centres. And now people from Leeds, Sheffield, are coming to Barnsley. Like, some of my mates were from Sheffield. They're like,
we're in Barnsley last week, and I'm like, you're in Barnsley? I went, yeah, it's right, good at it. Like, I couldn't believe how good it is. And then even like my trainer was from Batley, they said the last time he probably came to Barnsley like 20 years ago, and he came over and he just couldn't believe how developed it was, how much was going on, how it's almost like Leeds now, pretty much. You know how much the town centres, and obviously there's still plans to do so much more. So yeah, it's amazing how much it's again. It's something to be proud of, definitely.
It's easy just to hop on the train, don't you? From easy, straight in. You're in the town centre, straight to the glassworks or wherever, and you have a nice day out. It's got everything you need. So.
I feel like people in Barnsley like know how much they're getting developed and how much it's being improved. But I think obviously like, that's why people like yourselves obviously visit Barnsley that you're doing. That's great to try and get more people from like Yorkshire to come, like they said, to visit Barnsley as well.
Absolutely.
And even now the what street is it now where they're doing all the restoration?
Van Eldon Street, yeah.
Yeah, I always love that. I always like architecture and stuff. So even like seeing how that's all developing, it's great that you've got the modern part about Barnsley where they've invested in it and doing it all up, and then you've also got the the older architecture, and there's still a bit of culture and history as well that we can show off. Absolutely,
it's a great mix as well, and it's a lovely town centre. And where I don't want to give away your position for all your fans coming and mobbing you, maybe, but where do you hang out in the town centre? Where's your kind of go-to places? Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I hang out anywhere in particular.
Where do you like to go to eat food? Yeah, where do you go?
Well, I like to go to eat food anywhere and everywhere. I think when I'm in camp and I'm dieting, obviously Nando's is the easiest healthy option.
I go to Nando's and say it's healthy. That's it. I'm eating there
Well, I actually order my healthy Nando's order is broccoli, chicken breast, and if I'm lucky, I might have rice, depending on what my training load is.
Any spices? Or what do you have?
I have a medium. Yeah, I have the spice medium, but I like the the actual sauce after. The lemon and herb one's nice, the nicest one. But you can't get in the shops though. I've tried.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Really?
Not the same one. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not, because it's like the one that you get in the Nando's. It's like a lighter colour, a bit creamier. But
oh wow,
the one in the shops, it's.
Did you hold them up? No, it's not the same.
Oh no, I know. I've asked them before if I can buy it, and they're like, no, you can't. You can't buy it. But yes, I'll go to Nando's, or Salt House is nice. Estebulo as well. They're one of my sponsors. Whenever I go there, they never fail. Like steaks, unbelievable. Yeah, the food's unbelievable. And then what's the new one as well? That's like a well-known cocktail bar, one of the nationals. What's it called?
Oh, the Botanist.
Oh yeah, Botanist. Yeah, I've been there once or twice. That's nice. Dolly's. Like, so when I'm not in camp,
you don't go to Dolly's, surely. Or when you're not in camp, yes.
I think the last 6 weeks, I did that rate my takeaway with Danny, and everyone was saying like, oh, go to Dolly's, and like. But I think I put a post on Facebook saying I'm doing a YouTube video with rate my takeaway today, where I was everyone recommend, and I think that probably had more comments on than any post I've ever done. Everyone were like telling me to go for a curry at like 10:30 morning. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go there, but we ended up going to Mermaids. Which is just next to the works.
Yeah, the fish and chip shop.
Yeah, I went to Mermaids. Yeah, and I remember I didn't realise it was still open, to be honest. But I used to go there when I was like a little kid, and like it used to be like £1 for chips, and now it's about £5. But yeah, luckily I weren't paying. But yeah, so
it's not a bad price for fish and chips nowadays. To be fair.
Yeah, well, that was just the chips. But yeah, it brought back some memories, and but even that street there, obviously the works as well. That's a great little bar. The shuffleboard, darts. Interactive, that's quite good. And then, but yeah, Dolly's, I think I went there probably 5 days in a row. I'm not joking. I was like, get something to eat then, and get something to eat when
your trainers listen to this like, oh no.
Oh, he knows. He's got me on weighing scales. He's not happy. Every camp we say, right, we're gonna keep his weight down now after this fight. We're gonna keep. Obviously, I always train, but it's the food. I said to Mark, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Let me have my food. Let me just have my food. But yes, every camp we say, right, we're not gonna put too much weight on. We're gonna keep the weight down, and then I always end up whether it's Dolly's or this takeaway or whatever food. But yeah, we're not being too bad this camp.
I just imagine you're getting a ban from Dolly's now from your trainer, or sponsored by them.
Yeah, but no, I'm not allowed anywhere now. Anyway, I think I'm going to Estebulo on Saturday, but I don't know if I'll even be eating. I'll be like, even like when I go to like Barnsley football games when I'm in camp, I'll take my food prep and stuff. So I'll be in the hospitality.
Right, okay.
They'll all be having like pie and peas, or they'll have whatever food they've got. And I'll nip out to my car and have my broccoli and chicken food prep, and then I'll go back up. Yeah, it depends how far in camp I am. But yeah, once I'm in fight mode and something just clicks and it's like I'm on the diet, then that's it. So I can't be tempted with anything, and that's where I'm in now.
I was going to ask, how hard is it not to be, to avoid temptation when you're out and about, seeing places like the Botanist and Dolly's and everything in the town centre?
When I've like so when I've not got like a scheduled fight day or something to aim to, like a fight to aim towards, it's like I'll tell my coach the other day, it's like I'm not myself. I'm just like a cookie monster kind of thing. I can't not. If I'm driving, someone will make me just turn into McDonald's drive-through and get a McFlurry for no reason. I don't know what it is. It's not me. But yeah, when I've got a fight and I'm in camp, I'm switched on and there's no temptation at all to. Yeah. I could do whatever I need to do and there's no.
And I suppose that's why you've won 14 fights.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that discipline. It's just that discipline. Yeah, and like so you got to be dedicated. But I know how much. I can take it where I like eating the food and stuff, and in terms of diet, because I know like I track all my fights I've had. I've got it in my phone and in my notes, and on like the Excel spreadsheet and my weights each like so from like 10 weeks out, what weight I start camping, I weigh myself every morning, how much I come down, and obviously I'm my average weight each week, and I know how much I need to be and how far out from the fight as well. So for example, like even now, if I can look at my last fight 10 weeks out what I weighed. And I could look at that now, or 11 weeks, 14 weeks, or 2 weeks out. So it's very calculated, how we do it.
Yeah. And, well, I wanted to touch upon sport and activity in Barnsley in general and sort of how important it is. What would you say to anyone listening now who's thinking, I need to try and get fit, or they want to start a sport or something like that? One, how many opportunities are there in Barnsley? And two, really, how does it help you as a person? Do you think it improves your mental health and obviously your physical fitness as well? Why should people get into sport?
Yeah, I'd say firstly, for anyone wanting to get into sport or any kind of physical, you don't have to be a certain sport, but any kind of physical activity is one, you like don't put too much pressure on yourself. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people just like, right, I need to go to the gym like 5-6 days a week. Like don't like, and then when you don't, you put too much pressure on yourself, and then you just don't do it because it's too hard. But just start 1 day a week. Then the next week might be 2 days a week.
This is good advice for me, actually.
Yeah, no,
keep advising.
Literally, that's better than doing nothing at all. And just be proud to like set yourself little goals. In terms of opportunities in Barnsley, I'm not really, because I've got my sport already. Yeah. I'm not really looking what else there is. But my 3 younger brothers, they all play football. In fact, my older brother plays football as well. And my niece plays football. My nephew plays football. So I think the main sport in Barnsley is football. Yeah. So I know there's plenty of teams about football teams anyway. I know there's plenty of teams about and boxing gyms as well. There's my old amateur gym on Doncaster Road at Barnsley Star. There's a gym just opened just from town and just next town and roundabout, another boxing gym. I think it's called Barnsley Boxing Academy, I think it is. And I know there's a couple other gyms in Barnsley as well. So there's plenty, if you go on Facebook or Google it, there's plenty of boxing gyms about, and they're all, I always try and show my face at them and, go and like see the kids there. I know most of the trainers there as well, so everyone's friendly and welcoming. You haven't got to be an absolute supreme athlete to start boxing. Yeah. Some people just do it for fitness, some do it because they want to box, others just do it as a pastime. Yeah, so again, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go and just enjoy it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, do you think there is a bit of that stigma of, I don't know, I've never done this before. Are people going to judge me and that kind of thing when you go to a boxing gym? I don't know. Is that how you felt?
I went with my dad when I first went. Obviously, I wanted him to go with me because I think, like I said, I was only 9 years old, so we went and I can remember now in my head. John and Trev, they come up to me. We were talking to them. They went, "Yeah, come down. Like, come tomorrow. This is what you need. We've got gloves here for you. We've got wraps here for you." And as well, that's another thing. If you do go to a boxing gym, don't worry about not having the equipment yet, because when you get there, a lot of gyms, they have wraps there that you can borrow, and they have gloves there that you can borrow. And a lot of them, some of them get funding from lottery funding or grants and stuff, but not all of them do. But there's always people there that've got wraps you can borrow and gloves you can borrow, and you don't have to worry about getting a head guard, gum shield, and footwear. Like you don't have to you just go there, speak to the coach, and they'll always look after you.
Yeah. Just going back to the Barnsley Town Centre side of things as well, we were chatting a bit before the podcast started about you've just been to the food festival.
Yes.
And how did you find that, first of all?
I hope my coach is watching this. I'm joking. This other week. Yeah, I went to the food festival the weekend. I think I went Saturday and Sunday actually, but I didn't have anything on the Saturday. But on the Sunday, I think I'd already eaten too much the night before.
You don't have to lie.
No. I didn't have anything to eat on the Sunday. Well, actually, I had desserts. I didn't have any meals. Some of my mates got chicken. Is it chicken gyros? Is it?
Oh, yes.
Chicken gyros. Well, and someone else got a pizza. But I went to Dolly's, got an ice cream.
Of course,
I got a frozen yogurt. The better sponsor me, Dolly's after all. And I got a frozen yogurt. And then what else did I get? I probably got something else as well. So some other dessert. I got a cookie as well, actually. But yeah, diet starts this week. Diet starts Monday, I always said. But yeah, it started already. But yeah, so again, just how busy it was, especially on the Saturday as well. I couldn't believe how busy it was. You know, lovely weather as well, beautiful weather. And you're absolutely packed, you know. And it's just, again, it's not something, well, we are used to seeing it now. But again, a few years ago, it's not something that you would ever think could be in Barnsley. And even that all the events that you see being put on as well in outside Glasshouse, it's just like you think, like, is this really Barnsley, this our town? And it's great to see.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us today, Callum. It's been great to chat to you and learn about your life as a boxer and how Barnsley's kind of inspired you to become the person you are. When's your next fight?
So we're hoping for, nothing's confirmed yet, but we're hoping for early August. We're trying to get Oakwell, which is, there's a lot of conversations being had. But if not there, we're still hoping for early August. But yeah, so that's a camp starting now. We're ready. I'll be fighting for the British title. So yeah. And
just keep being an advocate for Barnsley. We know you're a big champion of it for us. That wasn't a boxing pun, by the way. But good luck with everything. And yeah, we'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.